Jeremy Corbyn in Britain has come out in support and said that this is wrong.
Here we are back outside the Ecuadorian embassy. It's just 24 hours since Julian Assange was taken away and arrested. I'm here once again with
Kyle.
Kyle, good to see you. You've been here a lot, and there are still supporters here. Why? Now he's gone. Why are people still outside the embassy?
Well, we're maintaining a presence with our symbolism, with our signs, just to continue to show our solidarity.
Okay.
The plan is to soon go over to where he is being held in detention, and then to show our presence there. But we're here for now just to,
Do you think this will continue to be a place for supporters to congregate?
No, I don't think so.
No, it's going to move to.
No, maybe it will be of historical value, but the point is to now stay with Julian wherever he is. I think to keep that solidarity going and to be outside important buildings like this is great, because you've still got journalists coming here to see the building and have it used as a backdrop. And they often see us and they come and talk to us, so we try and talk to them.
It's been great to have that focal point, and for nearly 7 years we had it. Now he's in, I think, Belmarsh prison.
That's what I've heard. I can't really say for 100% certain, but I think that's what's gone on.
He's being detained. I wonder when we will know what is the long-term prognosis for him.
Well, when he releases a public statement again, determining what he's going to do in response to Swedish prosecutors recently reopened rape allegations, so he's probably going to come out and continue to deny that. We'll know what's going to happen.
Do you expect we'll have any huge revelations from WikiLeaks? Because I heard that Julian Assange would have put some kind of dead man's handle onto the WikiLeaks account, as in if a certain number of days elapse and he hasn't logged into it, information will be released.
Interesting.
Speculation.
No. I mean, I'm not a technician or a IT professional, and I don't really have expertise in that area, so I don't know how that would work if he wanted to do it. But as far as I know, he had his internet cut when he was in there. Well, actually, he did. Yeah, I know he did.
Okay, so he's gone.
He's been silent.
Plenty of time without internet. For a long time.
So that if there was such a mechanism, I'm sure it
would have already kicked in. Okay.
But as a safety thing, I can see why someone might do that. Yeah.
Well, I'm just clutching at straws to think, Julian, you must have some plan up your sleeve.
It's not like the movies. I think we always think, activists often, they do create a drama of good guys and bad guys, because I think they know that's how you motivate people to take part in action. However, Julian is not like James Bond with a trick up his sleeve, and he's just a normal person.
As you say, it's not the movie. Is it black and white with good guy and bad guy? Is there anything you don't like about Julian Assange? I hate to dwell on the negative, but just to argue the toss.
I don't know him as a person, so I don't know what to say to really to make that point. I've never met him, actually.
You're here on principle.
Yeah, I'm here as a supporter. I'm more interested in what he represents. He's like other political prisoners around the world, like Abdullah Öcalan and Lula da Silva. These are people that represent a lot. And for me, he represents those values of free speech and honesty about Western war crimes, and that's what I value.
And would you describe yourself as being on the left?
Yeah, I'm a very committed leftist. I have been maybe since the age of 15. Libertarian leftist.
You're a libertarian leftist, politically aware. Let's pause for a moment. Copper on a bike. We might get a conversation. Sure, that's routine. Have you seen many police come and go tonight?
That's the second time.
Okay,
there's in about 4 or 5 hours. However, I think that could be cops doing the regular check of all the embassies around the area. So I don't think they're here particularly to.
I know Kieran, who has been here round the clock, said that Special Branch were monitoring the situation.
Of course. Special Branch. Could be MI5 as well. I mean, there's various different ways the state can keep a an eye on what's going on.
Going back to the whole left-wing thing, does Julian Assange have support from right-wingers as well? Because he's quite an unbiased guy, right? And most of what he said was just true, and whether it helped one side or helped another side, he just put it out there. Do you find yourself having strange bedfellows or being on the same page with someone you'd rather not be?
It's a cross ideological issue.
But that can be a good thing, right?
It can be, and I think
we don't have to hate
I've
each
met
other.
writers from Breitbart, which for me is not something I would read and find much value in reading, and I think is part of misinformation. However, I can also, we can come together on that issue. We can say, well, actually, it's great to have someone out there supporting free speech, and just giving us information and letting us evaluate it on our own terms. Julian Assange wasn't. He does offer evaluation and analysis, but the main thing is the leaks, publishing the leaks, and that's what he's really being punished for.
He doesn't give so much his opinion on it. He just gives the information.
He's not being punished by the US state and the British state for his commentary and analysis. He's being punished for presenting fact.
And how can he be accused of treason to a state that he's not a citizen of?
Sorry, what I read in the New York Times is that they're not going to use the Espionage Act to try him for treason in the US.
They're not.
They're not. That's what I've heard. I mean, I could be wrong.
Okay.
They're trying to, as far as I know, they're trying to get him on charges of conspiracy with Chelsea Manning.
Okay.
To hack into a computer.
She is an American citizen.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Chelsea Manning's an American, and that's hacking into a computer is apparently his crime.
Yeah. Okay. And that could be in any country in the world, couldn't it? Where does Edward Snowden fit into all this?
Well, Edward Snowden was lucky enough to get to Hong Kong and then head off to Russia. Julian Assange went to a country that was a lot more of a pliant regime, I think, sadly, to the US.
Okay.
At least it was under Lenin Moreno, it became so.
Okay.
Happened to be in Britain, which is, as I hate to say this, I wish Britain had more sovereignty and more independence, but we are kind of an appendage of the American empire, and it's a shame that, he happened to be here, of all places.
Yeah, okay, so he had to do what he had to do. In terms of international support, it seems that he has people supporting him in every country, but he doesn't have a single country that has stepped out of line and said, we are with Julian Assange. Has Putin said anything? Have Venezuela or Iran? I'm trying to think of countries from the non-aligned movement who would traditionally object to the transgressions of the West, so to speak, America, etc.
I don't think major leaders of any countries have come out. However, Jeremy Corbyn in Britain has come out in support and said that this is wrong. Or at least it would be wrong to extradite Julian Assange to the US.
I saw that.
So that's someone, I suppose. He doesn't represent Britain, not yet, hopefully, anyways. But that's significant.
I wonder if he'll say the same thing if he was Prime Minister, because in his campaign, Donald Trump said that he loved WikiLeaks, and then when he became president, he couldn't remember who Julian Assange was, and he denied him 3 times.
Noam Chomsky makes this point that you shouldn't judge politicians by what they say when they're out of office. You should be judging them by what they do when they're in office.
Yeah.
So
I wonder, would Jeremy Corbyn say the same thing if he becomes the next Prime Minister? I mean, I think Jeremy Corbyn has changed his tune on a lot of things, and that's maybe why he is still the leader of the Labour Party, only just because he was willing to compromise. He was always a critic of the EU, but then he backed the Remain campaign, I would imagine, against his own historic stance. He would have been a critic of the EU, right? That's for another conversation.
Also, there's a link with Jeremy Corbyn. He was demonised to the same extent that Julian Assange has been demonised by the liberal press, such as The Guardian, the BBC.
Okay.
So in that sense, they've got quite a bit in common. Both of them are also challenging the foreign policy elite in Britain by giving. Jeremy Corbyn wants to reopen serious investigation to the Iraq War. We all know what Julian Assange has done to expose the reality of the Iraq War. Definitely. And so on both, they're quite similar kind of figures in that sense. Yeah,
it's a good point, and it's a shame that many on the left have deserted Julian Assange, unless there's good reason, which I can't find. some people that used to chant his name are now not really being vocal in their support?
Well, I think a lot of people have drunk the Clinton Kool-Aid, so to speak. That's what I've heard some activists say.
Okay, yeah,
to use that phrase, it's
a good analogy.
Puts it well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look, finally, for you, if you don't mind, just want to do a little bit of a personal question about Julian Assange. Kieran, who is out here 24/7, I know is part of the Catholic worker movement, and he brings a very sort of spiritual element to his solidarity and his campaigning. You are a religious individual?
No, I'm an atheist. Although I was raised as a Catholic, so I'm quite sympathetic to.
Has that ethos stayed with you despite not believing in God anymore? Or
well, Jesus was someone similar to Assange in the sense that he spoke the truth about how he saw the world working and was punished for it. You know, he was giving the people of his day a new way to live, and that was in conflict with the ways of the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
In the same way that Julian Assange is speaking about a new way to understand the world in the face of the American Empire.
Yeah.
And yeah, empires don't like to be challenged. They don't like that. They wouldn't exist otherwise. If they allowed people like Julian Assange to do what they were doing, they wouldn't exist.
Absolutely right. Look, thank you very much for speaking to me.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
In midnight.
No, it's fine. The light's keeping me warm.
Yeah. We'll crank it up a little bit. No, really glad to stumble across you. Where can we meet next time? Is it going to be outside the prison or
outside Belmarsh? And wherever he goes, you'll find activists there. There's always that flicker of hope wherever he goes.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Julian.